Congratulations on becoming a United States citizen. You now have the ability to vote in our elections. It's an honor. So, what options do I have? Elephant or donkey? What? Elephant or donkey? Choose now. Elephant? Ah, I see. So you're racist, homophobic. Mm-hmm. No. Donkey. Ah, so you're a woke socialist who hates America. Why are you assuming these things? Oh, you see, these are just the stereotypes people generally associate the two major political parties with. Uh, Two major? Are there a third option I could choose? Well, technically there are more than two political parties, but if you want your vote to count, you kind of have to go with the big two ones. So you're telling me that a third-party candidate has never won an election in this country? Well, actually, that's not true, and I can give you two oversimplified examples throughout history. Crap, am I in a YouTube video? You are in a YouTube video, good sir. Now, it's the 1990s, and billionaire Ross Perot has broken the world record for getting the most amount of votes without getting a single electoral vote. To help fuel his success, he forms a new political party called the Reform Party. He tries again in the 1996 election, where he gets around 8 million votes. Still good, but nowhere near as much as last time, as the hype around him breaking the record, just wasn't there anymore. But you know what? That's still a good start for a new political party. If they play the cards right, they could easily become a small but dominant third party, playing off the Republicans and the Democrats. Oh, God. Well, before they broke the world record for having one of the worst collapses in human history, they managed to pull off a surprise victory in the 1998 governorship election in Minnesota. At first, both the Republican and Democrats came swinging hard. The Democrats had nominated Skip Humphrey, son of former Vice President mm, Herbert Humphrey, I don't know, that's how I pronounce his name, to be the candidate. The Republicans chose Norm, Coleman, who was the mayor of one of Minnesota's most populous cities, of St. Paul. The Reform Party ended up choosing professional wrestler and soon to be Let's Turn Conspiracy Theories into a TV show. Jesse Verdehan? Was it just Verdet? Why do your people have such complicated names? But more importantly, why the hell could I not read? Now, admittedly, he wasn't the most inexperienced person in the world for the job. He was the mayor of Brooklyn Park, a city of around 50,000 at the time, so yeah, this could be a logical next step for him. Now, I need you to take this next section with a pinch of salt. Since this is a random election in Minnesota from the 90s, there aren't a lot of information on it. So I kind of ended up going off a random Redditor who explained what exactly happened. But it's Reddit, so again, take it again. You need to grain of salt. Long story short, it's just short. I'm bringing this. Short. Okay. Skip Humphrey was initially in the lead, but due to him being a terrible public speaker and similarly because his first name was Skip, people decided to skip him over and began looking over to the next candidate. Norm, whose last name I'm not going to bother to pronounce again. Unfortunately for Norm, he wasn't your normal Republican. I will not apologize for that pun, as he only had switched to the Republican Party from the Democrats 2 years earlier, and he also had another issue with the fact that he wasn't originally from Minnesota, so a lot of people didn't think he got that Minnesotan pride. With him not having the full trust of the Republican base, he struggled to get the national support he needed. This allowed our friend Jesse here, to run a successful populist anti-establishment campaign, pulling out a surprise victory. Our next example is a bit more closer for home for me, as we're talking about New York. And by New York, I mean the state, not the city. I've never been to it. I swear to God, if I hear one more, oh, how's the big city from someone else, I will. Nope. Remember your therapy. Now that I'm zen again, the year was 1970, back when New York was actually a functioning democracy. Failed understudy to his brother and father of a lunatic, Robert F. Kennedy was dead. As such, Mr. Oilman, Nelson Rockefeller, appointed Charles Goodell to the Senate. Now, if you should know one thing about New York, is that third parties are surprisingly powerful within the state. And I don't mean any of those silly national parties that think they could stand a chance. I mean one of those homegrown classic New York parties. You see, they managed to take advantage of New York's electoral laws, which allowed candidates to receive multiple endorsements from different political parties. These political parties have been using this to their advantage to influence larger Democratic and Republican parties by endorsing their preferred candidates, giving that person the little nudge they needed to win that election. Now, the next thing you should know is that many New York Republicans during the 1970s, by today's Republican standards, would have been considered woke gay socialists. I knows. Many of these conservatives, feeling that Charles was a bit too progressive, began to throw their support behind James Buckley in the Republican primary, only for him to lose. As such, he decided to run in the New York Senate as a member of the New York Conservative Party. Now, this is not his first rodeo, as he actually had a similar situation happen to him in the 1968 Senate election, where he successfully managed to get third place with over 1 million votes. Well, for this election, he successfully managed to double hit to 2 million votes. Now, normally this would not be enough for him to win the election, but because the left-leaning vote was split between the Republicans and the Democrats, he managed to pull out a squeaky 2% victory over the Democratic candidate, Richard. I'm not going to even bother to try to pronounce this dude's last name. So, as you can see, there have been times when third-party candidates manage to beat the odds and win, but usually these are under special circumstances and never really amount to anything significant. Okay, but so maybe third parties haven't performed that well in the last couple of years, but maybe, just maybe, when the right candidate comes around and we can unite behind them, maybe, just maybe, we can finally break the two-party system. Well, hate to tell you this, but the most successful third-party candidate in recent history was an anti-vaxxer who threw a dead bear in the middle of Central Park. You know what? I'll just register as an independent. Oh, so you're an idiot who can't make up his own damn mind. Oh, come on! Okay, before I end the video, I want to thank everyone for watching the last video I did in this style. I was not expecting it to get over 800 views. I was hoping at best it would get 50 based off my past record. But the fact that it got that many views is really great, and I thank you all for that. And yeah, I know this is a bit greedy for me to ask, but if you enjoyed this video, would you mind liking and subscribing? Yeah, that'd be very great for the algorithm. So until next time, folks, see you.